Hi, everyone. This is Jacqui Cooper with JCooperTravels talk show, and I have a really special guest on today who I will introduce in just a quick second. Before we talk about our topic, and which is close to my heart because of the fact that besides being in travel, I'm in education and special education. I want to welcome everyone onto this episode. And for those that are new to the JCooperTravels talk show, I just kind of want to share with you how the show got started and the whole vision behind it. So, as many of you might know, I am a certified travel consultant and I love to travel around the world. And I love helping others travel as well. But COVID happened last year. So when I started the JCooperTravels talk show, I sort of had to think about rebranding it just because travel was sort of paused, as we all know. I decided that we all travel in different ways. We all travel a life path. So it's not just where we go, it's how do we travel? How do we travel with our families? How do we travel with our professions, our careers? And just how do we treat ourselves, both personally, fitness wise, that type of thing. So J Cooper Travels is all about stories. And today we have a really special story. I met Michele on Alignable, and she's also on LinkedIn and a whole slew of other platforms. And she's also been involved in education, and she's also a mom, and she's also someone who cares fully about her community and the families within the community. Michele, I want to welcome you to the platform, and I love the picture that you have behind you that says Autism Mom with all the positive words. It's really inspiring and encouraging, and I know that you're going to share your story, and it's going to really both inspire those that are listening to both contact you if they need help, as well as reach out to others. I want to remind everyone, we're going to be mentioning how to contact Michele at least 3 times during this talk show. But in case you don't have paper and pen, don't worry. Just come back to J Cooper Travels. It will be in the block below. And that way you can definitely reach out to her. If for some reason, again, you are struggling to reach out, just reach out to me at jcoopertravels@gmail.com, and I'm happy to refer you over. Michele, how are you doing today?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jacqui, for inviting me today.
I am really happy that you're here. So tell me, what is the name of your business or company? I know that you've created a nonprofit. What is it called?
Spectrum Success 911.
So Spectrum Success 911. What is the website so people can contact you?
So we're still working on the website, but we do have email.
Okay, what's the email?
So my email is Shell, CHELE, at spectrumsuccess911.org. And my son, Khalil Robinson, who is the co-founder, his email is Khalil, KHYLIL, at spectrumsuccess911.org.
And again, all of that contact information will be in the block below. Michele, tell me, why did you start the nonprofit? What moved you to create a nonprofit that was going to help families in the community?
Well, having a child that has a disability, and before autism even came into our life, Khalil had he was developmentally delayed. We found out at about 15 months that he was still not speaking, he was not walking, and ChildLink had identified that he was developmentally delayed. And with that being said, now because I didn't have a developmental pediatrician, and so we found out actually because ChildLink was at the daycare that he was going to, and they observed the behaviors, and they reached out to me and said, we had noticed that your child was developmentally delayed in these areas. Would you like to connect, and would you like for someone to speak with you? And that's why my message to parents is to stress having a developmental pediatrician is detrimental to your child's development and life.
So you definitely think that everyone should find a pediatrician that specializes in this area?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, what does the nonprofit do?
So Spectrum Success 911, we work with the entire family holistically that is impacted by autism. So myself, I am a family peer. I work with the parents or the caregivers, coaching them in different ways, such as self-care, and also helping them to identify how to identify the behaviors and different things like that, how to get resources and services. And I also, along with my son, who provides one-on-one peer coaching with the individual ages 11 and up. Younger than that, together we push in and we do a therapeutic play session with the family. So basically what we do is the same services that a family may receive from a TSS, a therapeutic therapist, that support person, we instill in that family the same goals and the same skills that they do. We teach the family how to help their child with the social skills as well as with developmental delays through therapeutic play to help with developing language and with developing eye contact and different things like that that we find a child may not be on the same level as a neurotypical child would be.
So, are you able to help families just in Pennsylvania, or can you help families all over?
So right now, because we are doing virtual sessions, we can meet with the family virtually online, and we can also meet with families in person, depending on what that family is comfortable with. You can also be in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, and still do virtual sessions if you are not feeling comfortable with one-on-one sessions.
That's great. I know that the listeners for the JCooperTravels is all over the United States, Canada, and other locations. So for those that are listening, if you're in the United States, definitely reach out, possibly Canada. I'm not sure that Michele can help you yet if you're out overseas, but I'm sure that that's on our list of things to do. So you're growing a team of people that are going to help you with the nonprofit. Do you need volunteers, or what? I know you're going to be, families can reach out to you, but do you also, what kind of other resources do you need as a nonprofit?
So absolutely, we definitely welcome partnering with other support groups and support organizations that provide support to families impacted by autism. We also are connecting with DBH IDS as well as with the AJ Drexel Autism Institute. And we are just looking forward to connecting with other organizations and other outside resources to support with resources.
I know that you're very familiar with the educational system, and that you also help families who are trying to understand the IEPs within that system. So how are you, for those that might not understand the process, how can you support them, or what would you be able to do?
So in one of my one-on-one sessions with the parents doing parenting coaching, what I do is explain to them, break down the IEP and the individual education plan, and help them to set goals for their child and for their family. Also help them with the verbiage, help them to find if their child may need specially designed instructions, help them to know what that we do a mock IEP meeting before it is, so that way I can, if necessary, feed in the language. We also, I do devil's advocate to say, well, what if they say this or they say that and it's not in harmony with what you want, just to help that parent, empower them so that they'll feel confident enough to make sure that their voice and choice is the most important voice and choice at the end of the day at that meeting.
I agree with you. I'm definitely in total agreement with you. Being a special educator myself, parents are a critical, valuable partner in this process. And I mean, I've seen in working with very active parents how in sync we can be when we're thinking about the outcome that we want, which is for the child, so it's definitely a partnership. And communication is really important. So, and I also know that when I stepped into the special education role about 15 years or so ago, there was all this new lingo and terminology that I wasn't familiar with. And you're right, it's important to understand how is this piece of paper, what is being said, and when they use abbreviations, what does that really mean? Because sometimes we
Absolutely.
forget someone's not as familiar because we've been hearing it all the time. But again, it's a little bit overwhelming. So it's nice that you are supporting the family so they feel comfortable in this process.
And that was also one of the things that I can remember when I was younger, going to the IEP meeting. I always felt intimidated because everybody at the table just about had all of these letters behind their names. And I felt intimidated because I had none. And what I reassure the parents is that regardless to if they have 100 letters behind their name, MOM and DOD, and whatever that guardian's name is, are the most important letters along with their child's at that table.
Yes, I definitely agree with you. We often forget that those little initials have so much strength, because just like looking at your picture behind you, all those positive words, that's who you are as a parent. Those are all the roles that you play as a parent and are as an individual. So, we sometimes get submerged in the process and we have to always think about, the humanity and the person involved. Um, I know that you take a look at everything. You take a look at what does the family need, what does the child need, and then you also look at what is missing. And one of the things that conversations we've had offline is that sometimes families don't also have the proper paperwork in place. Proper paperwork might be a will or medical powers of attorney or other things that sometimes these are conversations that are not comfortable, but I think as a result of COVID, we're becoming more aware that when someone gets sick and then has to go into the hospital, if you don't have that in place, then sometimes you don't have the ability to have a voice, especially if your child is over a certain age, which would make them an adult, even if they are maybe need continued support. So one of the areas that you and I have talked about, and I know you became involved to have it as an option to share with families, is the area of Legal Shield, because of the fact that it provides a flat rate, affordable legal care for families that might not be thinking about this, but might end up needing it. And on many different levels. Do you want to speak for a minute about why you thought it was important for you to become involved with Legal Shield?
Sure. Thank you, Jackie. So, when you were telling me about Legal Shield, and I just was thinking this is a no-brainer. So many times, so many different incidents has happened where I was thinking like, what should I do? Where can I go? Who can I call? But now, with the intervention of having the cell phone and these apps, at the press of a button, you have everything that you need right then and there. If you are in a situation, you push the button and you have a lawyer on retainer that can come to your assistance right then and there, and also support you in that situation. So that was a no-brainer for me. That was right there the deal breaker.
Yeah. And, when I was thinking about it for myself personally, I was thinking, well, it's for the family plan, it's $24.95 for the month. And that's really less than $1 a day, so it's really affordable, especially in the long run, instead of paying an hourly rate. So for everyone who's listening, Michelle's link will be below, but definitely contact her to answer, so she can answer any questions that you might have, both about the nonprofit, both about Legal Shield. She has a wealth of resources at her fingertips, many more than what we can actually, just kind of list today. So definitely reach back out to her so she can help you and your family. Michele, any last minute thoughts that you'd like to share to our listeners?
Absolutely. Very interested in hearing, family stories and to share my story as well as our journey with Khalil. Khalil now is 27 and he has graduated from community college and he has a year to go at Temple pursuing a degree in communications. And I am so proud of him right now. He is working for the city of Philadelphia as a community autism peer specialist. So he and I together assess and work with and support families and individuals impacted by autism.
Yeah, I am super proud of him as well. I haven't met him yet. He's going to be on one of our other talk show episodes. So definitely everyone like and subscribe to the talk show as well as to the YouTube channel for JCooperTravels, because Michele and I are going to have an ongoing series of various topics to help families who have children with, special needs, because this is close to both of our hearts, and we want to make sure that we keep everyone up to date as to how to help. And if there's a question or an area that you want us to research and share out on, reach out to us, because we're here to be a resource to the community. And we love networking and talking to everyone. So Michele, thank you so much for being on. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, and I can't wait to have our next conversation.
Yes, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to talking to all of the families.
Thank you.
Thank you.